In a time and place when you can infrequently podcast from anywhere.
Two ladies in their mid to late 27s have decided to.
And they're calling it workationing.
We're back and slaying our bucket list too.
The Gringas have returned and are doing weird shit.
Flying planes, dating sky pirates, and surviving the zombie apocalypse.
Well, at least one of us survived.
This is the Workationing Podcast. Do you even remember how to do this?
I talk into this thing, I think.
Yeah. And I'm seeing the sound level bars moving around.
It looks like things are happening. I remember, I feel like we used to have a podcast.
Right? You know, and then like life got in the way.
I feel this is exactly what happened at this time last year is when we fell off. Last year too. I think it's that around the holidays and all these businesses have like extra budget at the end of the year.
I've been on more new client calls than ever. I'm setting records on the callery lately. Just like,
You are, girl. You've been grinding it out. So we have been insanely, wildly busy, which I know is the story we always tell.
Also, you know, podcasting is not our full-time job yet.
No.
We've got other things to do.
No, this is just what we do in our spare time, which is non-existent.
Anyway, we're back, and we've actually been doing stuff.
Yeah, we've got a lot to catch you guys up on, and we're going to do that in short order.
We knocked out a couple of items off of our bucket list, and good ones, too.
We did, and we did a little bit of traveling. We've made some new friends. There's some zany new characters in the mix.
I've got a boyfriend.
Yeah, girl, look at you.
Just out here trying not to die alone.
Girl.
There's hope. There's hope. I'm telling you, sister, there is hope. You just got to fire up your Tinder.
That's not how Tinder isn't working for me. It is not. So
just the look on your face. You like said so, lifted your glasses and rubbed your eye like
it's just like
you've been through some shit.
I've been through some shit. But let's tell the happy story first. So you got a new gentleman.
Yeah, we were struggling with what to call him because he's 45 years old, and you know I'm a young lady in my mid to late 27s,
Mm-hmm.
so he's 10 years older than I am.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's weird to call like a fully grown and functional man a boyfriend.
Yeah, and like Nico is not a boy on any level. Like,
no,
he is one of the most grown-ups I've ever met.
Yeah, still fun somehow.
Very fun.
Yeah, so we've been dating since February. It's getting serious. We've been traveling a lot, and so that's kind of kept me busy.
No, but like let's break this down for a minute because I need our listeners, especially after the relationship series, to understand what we're dealing with here. And what I have had to watch unfold as I just continue to eat shit and die on Tinder.
Yeah, and guys, if you haven't heard the relationship series, that's a good one.
Yeah, we got a lot of good feedback on that one. I love that one.
We were coming off of breakups.
Yeah.
And it was, we laughed, we cried. Those are episodes worth listening to. But back to Nico. He's great.
So Kari had been single for a hot 5 minutes, and she was just trying to get back out there just to like meet some new people. Nothing serious, not trying to find anybody. What was it, like your second date or something?
No, it was my fourth.
Okay.
I went a little swipe crazy, and so I went out with that marketing executive from Scotland. Then I went out with that Italian designer who surprised me by being exactly my height.
Oh, that was a fun surprise.
I'm a short lady. And I was like, oh, okay. And then I went out with a Dutch guy.
Oh, I completely forgot about that one.
Right? Yeah,
that was forgettable.
That was not a love connection.
No.
None of these were love connections. And then went out with Nico. So he was my last first date, but number 4 on the Tinder swipage.
Still, girl, I'm on like number 97 over here, and it's still... Anyways. So Nico is awesome. He's an entrepreneur, a very successful one. He's very well traveled. He speaks 7 languages.
Yeah, the 7 languages thing is pretty crazy to me. But his job, he's a sky pirate. Which I really like. So Nico's company sells duty-free stuff on planes. So if you're on a flight to Turkey and you want to sip some wine, it's Nico who's selling it to you. Those cartons of cigarettes. or tax-free.
No, and he really tastes that wine beforehand. You know, he's got a good palate. He's not just selling you some swill. He really does his best to provide a good product. I appreciate that. I also appreciate it when he does wine tastings at our house to figure out what he's going to sell on his planes.
Right, yeah, and sometimes they're really bad.
Because Nico will be like, this one's terrible, and I'll be like, I'll take that right off your hands.
Some of them are really, really bad.
Some of them are really bad,
and
though.
so we taste that and spit it out so you don't have to on the plane.
See?
We're
Giving
just
back.
doing the Lord's work.
Right?
Over here. But yeah, he's kind of a James Bond type, which I like.
He is. He can like land a plane on a glacier.
Yeah, he's got like
We
crazy
found out the
pilot
other day
ratings.
he can pick a lock, which like who knows how to do that?
Yeah, it was honestly one of the sexiest things I've ever seen because we got locked out of his house, and then he was like, "Well, I have one of 3 ways to pick this lock." And
What?
No, seriously. And so he went through the first 2 because that didn't need any hardware. But then he was like, "God, you know what I really need is a coat hanger." And he was like, "Hang on."
What?
And he had like stashed a coat hanger somewhere.
Just for a time like this.
I guess. I don't know. Somehow he came back like 30 seconds later with said coat hanger, and then just like, I shouldn't be telling people that they can break into his house with a coat hanger. Huh?
Well, I'm sure they can't. Nico can. I have 3 ways to pick a lock, and all of them involve throwing a rock through the window. So. Just so you know.
I'm like, have you tried knocking?
Right?
He's also a Dutch tax attorney.
Which, let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, Kate has come in handy. As we do, Kari and I like to just sort of like jump in the deep end and learn how to swim.
You maybe start a Dutch company.
Yeah, without really understanding much about Dutch tax law or any of that, and they're very serious about their taxes out here.
We have a team of accountants, you know?
Yeah, I just don't know that we're their favorite clients.
No, we are not. But when Nico came to the party and just like Dutched all over them,
yeah,
suddenly
they straightened up and started flying right.
Yeah, you know, actually that did bother me, I have to say, because like, fuck you, I'm a professional and I pay you. And why is it that I need to bring a man to the table in order for you to take me seriously and give me he was asking the same questions that we were, but then getting different answers.
Yeah, so there's this kind of like package of like the accountant and the lawyer and whatever that everybody gets. Like it seems like once we start talking to other expats, especially American expats, we all are working with the same people.
Yeah, same 3.
And
the dream team.
Right. And there is a big difference of people's opinions of them based on like, are you a man or are you a woman?
Right.
Because they treat the men very differently. And I'm just like, oh, okay, that's fun. That's a good time.
Yeah, it's not so much.
But that has been very, very helpful. You guys, so this is what Kari finds. This is what Kari finds on date 4.
Yeah. And he shows up, parks his Jag outside, and then it's just like casually leaning against it in a leather jacket. And I was like, what did I just find?
No, and his flower game is so on point. He brings like 24 roses. Like our apartment has never looked so chic. And then like he comes up here and like, because I like if flowers are in the house, I'm like, I know I'm supposed to like cut the ends off at an angle. I know that.
Right.
And then I just shove that shit in a vase. Not Nico. No, he's gonna dethorn that shit.
Yeah, can't have the leaves in the water that poisons it.
Which
so I learned.
I didn't know was a thing. But anyways.
He knew it. He can arrange a flower display like you would not believe.
No, it's gorgeous.
I'm just like, all right.
All kinds of skills.
Yeah. I'm like, I think you were raised classy.
Yeah, it's like it's an interesting he's an interesting addition.
He's the 7th. He's Nico the 7th.
Right? And we're like Kari and Kelly the nothings.
I'm like, you can trace your family history back that far?
Right?
I mean, mine ends in a trailer park somewhere, and I just stopped looking after that.
Yeah.
Like I don't need to go any further. I see where this is headed.
Yeah, it's interesting, but he's a weirdly great fit, actually. He's really fun to hang out with. But anyways, this is what Kari finds on Tinder. And I am over here still swiping for my life. I actually have like taken a break. I've taken a long break. I took it as a sign I had like a few dating misadventures, and then I did meet somebody who I had like a really good time with, but it like wasn't a good fit because I consistently, like, I'm a bad chooser. You know what I mean? Like, it was just somebody who, like, it was not a lifestyle fit. It was not an any, you know what I mean? I think I actually mentioned this maybe briefly in the relationship episode, but this dude, like, we went out a few times and then we had basically decided we were probably just going to be friends, like, no big deal, you know? And then, like, 3 days later, he ends up in the hospital for, like, a cold. He had some kind of flu or something. And then 3 days after that, he's in a coma. And he stayed in that coma for like 6 weeks.
Yeah. He was sleepy, that one. And it was touch and go. Nobody knew if he was going to come out of it.
Like he almost didn't make it. Like, it was really random and bizarre for that to happen to a, like, strong, healthy mid-30s dude.
No, and his Facebook feed was just, like, filled with friends and family telling him to stay strong, which I guess is what they say out here.
Yeah, no prayers, no love and light. They tell you to just, like, if you are going, that's actually what I found was so funny, is that, like, if you, the Dutch don't tell you, oh, like, praying for you, thoughts and prayers, love and light. They just say, like, strength, like, stay strong.
Walk it off.
Yeah, like,
you know? We got this Tylenol for you.
Right.
That's all that they prescribe.
Stay strong, bud. In that coma.
He pulled out of it.
Yeah,
though.
you just bootstrap your way out of that coma.
He pulled out of it.
He did, and that was great. And it was so funny because everybody was like, oh my God, this sounds like a romantic comedy. And I was like, no, but here's the thing, it wasn't even my romantic comedy, because there was a chick that he was supposed to be going out on a first date with the day that he went into the hospital. And then she wrote him letters, like hand wrote letters, like every single day, and like got to know his family and shit, like through the whole hospitalization thing.
I think that's a little psycho.
It was, well, listen.
I mean, like, on a scale of 1 to psycho, I think that's ranking a solid 8.5. He doesn't even know, because he hadn't even met her yet. And now he comes out of the coma and she's like written him all these letters and like mom's a big fan.
I mean, I think he was kind of looking for that kind of a situation, though.
Well, she really forced herself in there, didn't she? She just like shoehorned her way in.
Well, no, and yeah.
Are they still dating? Do you
I
know?
have no idea. I actually haven't talked to him in a while.
I want to follow up on that because like if she's going to write you a letter every day, if she's so thirsty, just so parched, that she's going to write a stranger a letter every day that he's in a coma, make frenzies with his family, and then, like, I don't know. That just...
Yeah, like, and then he wakes up and, like, what if it's, like, not a good personality fit?
Color me skeptic, but she just looks wildly different than her photos.
Right? Just like, I catfished you in a coma.
But now we've been dating for 6 weeks and your mom really likes me.
No, and then like, are you like contractually obligated to date this person and you wake up from your coma and they've written you a letter every day?
Wouldn't you feel a lot of pressure to?
Yeah, 1,000%.
Because you can't be like, you're a psycho.
Yeah, I felt like I dodged a bullet on that one. I was actually really glad that we had really established that we were not dating before he fell into the coma.
Right.
Because that would be... Like, I just don't know how to proceed.
No, because you were concerned about him. You had spent some time with him. You were friendly, you know? And I remember you were like, so should I go over to the hospital? And I was like, no.
Yeah, like, I didn't know. Oh, like, let's just be clear, though. Like, these are... Kari found... fucking international man of mystery over here with flower arranging skills, and he can land a plane on a fucking glacier. I'm just glad that the dude I was seeing and I had decided that we weren't dating before he fell into a coma. That was my good news.
He made it through.
He did. He made it through. Good for him. And I don't know.
Maybe found love.
Maybe he'll marry that chick. I have no idea. I'll have to look on Facebook.
I want to follow up on that because. So should we get to the bucket list? Because this is the bucket list episode.
Oh, right.
We knocked out some good stuff.
We sure did.
So I guess like step one is your brother came to visit.
Yeah, that was awesome. My brother Kevin, he's just like my favorite person. Love him. He's great. And he had never been to Europe before. So it was really cool. He got to come out and he stayed out here for like 10 days and it was super cool. We did like so many fun things, mostly just hanging out in Amsterdam, but we also went out to Mutter Slot. I think I'm probably not pronouncing that right. Castle.
Sounds lovely.
Yeah, we called it Murder Slut Castle. That's what it looks like to me. But Kevin like knows a lot about castles and shit, like medieval stuff. He weirdly has a lot of information knocking around in the old noggin about that, and it was actually a very educational and fun experience. It was great.
But we had lined up something special for him.
Yeah, because he was here over his birthday, and I wanted to do something really cool for him and give him like the full vacationing experience by giving him like a bucket list item, and then we got to do it too. So
yeah. So I happen to know this guy who flies planes.
Right, conveniently.
And he's a member of a private flight club.
Which is a thing, apparently. And the first rule of Flight Club is...
people don't talk about it. They're still talking about the grocery store. No,
I didn't
girl,
know there was such thing
club.
as a flight club. But it turns out it's a thing.
Yeah, so it's a thing.
And Nico's a member.
And so we got to fly a plane.
Yeah, that was so cool. Like, Kevin was geeked, by the way. Like, he was just like, could not have been more excited. And we were excited.
Yeah, so to be clear, Nico managed the takeoff and landing.
Yeah, we didn't. Because what I learned about flying from this situation is that it's really all just the takeoff and landing. And the rest of it is... Like, you don't even really have to be good at keeping the plane level or on course.
I certainly was not.
No, it's weirdly hard to do.
Right. Oh, it's not easy because you're in like a 3D space. And so you're not just trying to like straighten up and fly right, but you're also trying not to like go in a 500-foot drop and then a 500-foot raise. And that's
which you
hard
think
to
you'd
do.
feel. But you don't really.
No. And there's a flight log. I didn't know this, but like the planes have records and it will tell you exactly like what your elevation was. And my report was not so good. My report was
not good grades.
No. I thought I was doing really well. I thought I was just, keeping her steady. No, I was wildly, I fly like I drive.
I felt like Kevin kind of got the hang of it at some point, but it was still pretty hard for him too. But basically what we did is like Nico took off and then we flew from Rotterdam, because that's where the flight club is, from Rotterdam to Amsterdam and back. And which was really, really cool because we went up the coast.
Yep.
Which is like, it's like a good navigational system.
Right, just keep the ocean on the left.
Yeah, ocean on the left, land on the right, you're headed north.
Yeah.
You got this, So we did that and it was really cool. And then Nico took over a little bit. What was really cool, I thought it was so fun, he took us over the castle that we had gone to see the day before and did this like spin over it, which was really cool, so we could like take pictures like looking down.
Yeah, he made sure that your Insta was on fire. I thought that was nice of him.
No, it was so nice. No, he's like, we didn't get it. Just take another pass, And like we got to fly over Amsterdam and see like Amsterdam Central and like Dam Square and all these places that we walk through and bike through every day, and that was really cool to see from the air. Mm-hmm. It was so fun. Like it was a really kind of magical experience.
Yeah, and then at some point Nico just let us take the wheel, and with varying results. Kevin was the clear winner in that. I was the clear loser. If we were
I felt like
loses.
Kevin plays a lot of video games, and I feel like that helps.
Oh, I don't.
No.
No. Not really my thing. But the flying bucket list, totally worthy.
So much fun. Oh, okay. So here's the other thing, though. Speaking of, so Nico takes.
Speaking of dying,
Nico takes back over for the landing, and we're coming up to the flight club, and we can like see the runway down there and stuff. And Nico's like, so we're coming up to it kind of like perpendicularly, like we're gonna cross over the runway, and Nico's like, so what you're supposed to do is fly way out here and circle around like a mile or two that way and then come back and then land on the runway.
Right.
And he's like, but that's not what we're going to do.
And I was like, oh no.
And then like instantly does this like, I don't know what the fuck that was. Some sort of like tactical military style landing where as soon as we were directly above the runway, he like just goes spiraling like straight down.
My stomach was in my throat.
Every light on the dash is turning red. Things are beeping and going off. And I remember I was actually not, I think you were the most scared actually.
I was the least on board with that landing plan. I thought, I was just like, this is not the time to show off.
I was like, this would be a cool death story. The other thing is though, is that like, it was very scary and I've never quite experienced anything like that at all. And it was disorienting and it was hard to tell, but like, I don't know, Nico is an adventurous person, but he is maybe one of like the least reckless people I know.
No, I'm sure he knew what he was doing and just wanted to give us a thrill.
I know he can land on a glacier. Like, I don't think he would have done it.
No,
if he wasn't sure he could stick the landing, but there was still, I'm like, this can't possibly end well.
No, he's just like a kid when he flies, and he likes to do the fun stuff. He wants to like make your stomach drop and,
yeah.
Didn't he turn off the engine at one point?
Yeah.
That's a thing.
No, it was terrifying / awesome. And it was cool because then when we got down to the ground very quickly, by the way, that flight ended abruptly. But the landing was smooth as fuck. Like, it was totally fine. I wasn't even worried about that.
Oh, no.
Like,
yeah,
once
he really kissed that down.
No, the spiraling part was like, ah! But then, like, when we got to the runway, I was just like, oh, that was fine. Like, no big deal. But that was really fun. I enjoyed that.
It's fun to combine a bucket list item with a near-death experience.
Yeah.
If you get the chance.
You're like, I feel so alive.
Just a twofer.
No, but it was so cool because then after that, you have that feeling like when you get off a roller coaster or whatever, like, you're like, woo, I made it.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't mad at him or anything.
No. No, nobody was mad.
It was
awesome.
It was scary.
I was glad he did it. It was cool. And I was happy that Kevin was there because Kevin was super geeked by that. Kevin thought it was...
Yeah, Kevin was just having the time of his life. And I'm like, we're all going to die.
Yeah, Kevin and I, like, just don't fear the Reaper. We're just like, it's fine. It's like, the void. I've been waiting for you.
Kevin might actually get his pilot's license following that experience.
Yeah, I think he was pretty geeked about it. I think it's something that he's going to explore further. He's in medical school right now, so his time is very, like, limited. Mm-hmm. But I think that instead of being a doctor who golfs, I feel like Kevin's going to end up being a doctor who flies as a result of this.
Yeah, Nico asked me if I wanted to get, go through the process to get my pilot's license.
Do you?
No. I want to get my pilot's license about as much as I want to learn Dutch, which is, like, not at all. Right?
Right.
But I know how to drive a stick.
I think it would be dope to be able to say you had a pilot's license.
I can ride a motorcycle, right? Like, I feel like it's important to have the skills to be able to, like, get out, right? So when my parents taught me how to drive, they taught me how to drive on a stick, made me take my test.
Well, and Nico's, like, been a flight instructor too, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, he could, like, really teach you.
No, I mean, like, I'm sure I'd get a discount, but, like,
Discount rate.
Right? But it takes a long time. Girl, I'm going to have to brush up on my physics. It's not an easy thing to do. To get your pilot's license.
I'm sure that it's not.
It's a huge time investment. And I'm just, like, looking around at all the free time I've got laying around.
Oh, yeah.
And we haven't recorded a podcast in, like, 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And I'm like, where am I going to squeeze that in? So I don't know. It would be really badass to be able to say that I could fly a plane.
Yeah. No, I think that's super badass. It was... Like, the whole flying experience was really good. Like, there's honestly, the miracle of flight. It's fucking great.
Maybe I can start with a helicopter.
I don't know if that's easier, is it?
I don't know. Nico can't
helicopters.
He doesn't have a license for that. I'm sure he could.
I'm sure he probably can. He probably knows how to hotwire one.
Oh my God! Did you know? So we just went out to the U.S. I had a Boston, New Hampshire, New York City tour. Did you know that there's a reality TV show where people repossess planes that the payments haven't been made on, and they literally, like, break into the planes, sometimes hotwire that shit, and then, like, fly off over to whatever bank.
How have I missed this show? This sounds like solid gold.
I think it's Nico's favorite. He was just so clocked in, and he was like, "Oh, I've already seen this episode." And I'm like, I didn't even know.
Was Nico like, I'm episode 9?
No, he was like, "Oh, I've done that before." Because the bounties on him were like $15,000.
What?
I watched some guy hike through the Alaskan wilderness for 2 days to get to a plane, but then he got $15,000 when he returned it back to the bank.
We have to we're going to have to, in one of these next few episodes, get Nico on the podcast for a couple different reasons. One is that, like, he's traveled a lot and he's done all these really cool and interesting things, but he knows a lot about flying, which for digital nomads I feel like is very he knows a lot about the aviation industry. He knows about what happens on planes and why things are the way they are. And
some of that shit is so dark.
Some of there is shit you don't want to know, and it's going to haunt you. So we're going to make sure to tell you about that.
Oh God.
So you'll have next time you're on a plane, you're
yes, listen to it on the plane. Oh God.
Right? No, it's some of the things. We'll let him tell it. But honestly, like, one of my favorite things about Nico is that, like, I love good stories, and, like, I collect good stories, and I will do something just because it's going to be a good story. Nico has some crazy good stories.
Yeah. Yeah, he's entertaining, and he's got a great accent.
Yeah. So we'll have to have him. We'll have to have him on.
That'll be fun. Oh God, that airplane episode is going to be crazy.
Yeah,
it's
no, it'll
so dark.
It'll
it's
really
so dark.
change your life to know all of this. It's a lot.
Yeah. I'm like, do people really laugh on the way down?
Yeah,
they do.
They do. To be continued on that.
Okay, so the next thing that we did to, I guess, cross something off of our bucket list because that's been a big focus of workationing, and we haven't really talked about it that much, but we have been out here living life and doing cool shit.
Yeah.
And like really trying to do that. I think it's Europe's biggest VR arcade is right here in Amsterdam.
Yeah, and it's super, super cool.
So they have this Survive the Zombie Apocalypse experience where you and 4 of your friends get to be on a 5-person team where you kill zombies for like an hour.
It's so fun, and it is like you put on like the VR goggles and you've got a gun, and like you can it's like you are inside of a video game. And let me tell you, like I won't say it's very immersive. You're basically in this room with like padded walls.
Right. It's like a warehouse.
Yeah, and there's even like padded poles, kind of like support beams in the room, but the game knows where they are, and it like just kind of directs you away from them. And even if you did run into it, like you would just like hit a padded thing. But I didn't run into any walls while I was, maybe when I was running. Because like, here's the thing, like it's very immersive and you feel like you're in it, but that doesn't mean that it necessarily looks like totally realistic.
Right.
But when those zombies are coming for you, man, that is actually a terrifying experience. And I now know what it feels like, because I died one time during the game, to be like completely overrun by zombies and to really feel like...
No, because your heart is racing. It is fully immersive, and these creatures are coming at you, and you're like, God, that looks pretty real.
No, and I was screaming like a little bitch. I was like,
ah! Like, no, we were all screaming like bitches. The guys were doing it.
It was really scary, actually. Like, it was scary because you'd be like, it would keep changing. There were like, I don't know, 6 or 7 different levels or something like that. And so you'd be in this one, you'd like just pop up somewhere and you're in some like abandoned like hospital or like something like that. And you guys, you have to like look around. You can see your teammates in the game.
And we're all named.
Yeah, and you can see like their names and you can figure out who's who and like we're different colors and stuff. And then you have like, I don't know, like 10, 15 seconds to get set before the zombies start coming. And so everybody's got to like strategize, you know, and they've specifically set these places up so that it's hard to figure out where to stand.
Right.
Like it's hard to find a truly safe space. And so like you can't just like back yourself up in a corner. And so like you all have to like strategically put yourself where you're going to be. It was really fun.
It was. And we had some real geeks with us who like know a thing or two about VR and, you know, good design, and they were impressed.
Yeah. Yeah, I think everyone had a great time.
It was I've never seen anything like it before. It was super cool.
No, it was so fun. And then they've got like a bar in there, and the room where you're actually doing the zombieing is kind of set down and in this room kind of below, but you can watch from above through this window. So you can like watch the people down there running around and like being crazy and like feeling like they're getting attacked by zombies. It's actually really fun to stand around afterwards and watch, because you can watch on the TV and see like kind of what they're seeing, but then you can also look down and just see these, because I'm sure that it does look ridiculous, like when you just got these goggles and these fake guns and like
some sort of battery backpack, you know, and you're sweaty. You're so sweaty at the end of it.
So sweaty. Well, I had been literally eaten alive by zombies.
I lived. I did not die once.
You were great. I was actually like, I was the worst on the whole team. I'll admit that.
I grew up redneck on a farm. Sister knows how to shoot. You know, I had the highest accuracy rating and I never died.
No, you did awesome. I was terrible. I was really bad. And I would have thought I would have done better. I take the zombie apocalypse very seriously, and I've thought about it a lot.
I know. We talk about the zombie apocalypse a lot. So like when the zombies come, you know, how fucked are we given like where we're at right now? We've had these types of conversations before. We're actually very clocked in, oddly clocked into the zombie apocalypse. Actually.
No, all the time. Like, actually, I feel like our apartment here is actually relatively safe.
Yeah.
Except, but it depends on what kind of zombie you're talking about. The only real point of entry that we couldn't truly barricade well would be the balcony, and there's like this. It's like all glass all around it.
Until zombies can fly, I think we're all right.
No, but that's the thing. High. If you've got slow zombies, there's no way. If you've got fast zombies, maybe. What you got to watch out for are those stackable zombies, like in World War Z, where they just climb over each other like ants.
Oh, God.
You know what I mean? That sort of. Because if you had one of those, but still they'd have to want to come up here. So they don't just do that willy nilly.
So we survived the zombie apocalypse and actually almost beat the game. We got to the last, but I think that...
Oh, there was a glitch in the game, though, and we got stuck in one level for a really long time.
Right.
Because there was a zombie that got stuck somewhere, and we could hear it, but you can't, like... It's like stuck behind a fake tree or something, but it's not like I can, like, go around that fake tree and find the zombie. That's like not how it works.
Finish that zombie off, you know? So had we had those 2 minutes, and even the counter guy said... Had we had those 2 minutes, we really could have slayed that.
Yeah, we were almost there.
Well, I survived. You didn't.
No.
Oh. Don't worry. I'd still have you on my zombie team.
Thanks, girl.
You know?
I feel like I'd bring other things. Like, I bet you didn't even know about stackable zombies. Like, I may not be the best fighter, but I come with an encyclopedic knowledge of zombies in their many forms.
So it's cool. It keeps track of all of your stats, so you can see exactly how you did relative to, you can see who was slacking, who didn't show up for work, who was really, dragging down the team. Oh, I didn't even tell you this because Nico, I didn't see it, and Nico just mentioned it last week, actually. So you know how there's another team coming in after us? Mm-hmm. How about they all dropped MDMA before they did that?
What?
They were all passing around pills, and they were talking about it. And so
here's what you need to know about the Netherlands. Well, not necessarily about Amsterdam, and in particular, is that like MDMA is just like randomly floating down the street like a tumbleweed. Like it's just, it's like wildly cheap and it's everywhere. And people, all kinds of like professional people do this shit until like their old age. They're doing some MDMA and going to a music festival. That's just like how they roll out here.
Or fighting zombies. Can you imagine that?
I don't think I would want that.
That does not sound like a good time to me.
No, I was definitely there was enough adrenaline. I was elevated enough, and then what? I don't need to feel like what is a strong sense of like love and connection and a need to dance going to do for me in the zombie apocalypse?
And a need to dance. I thought that was just a very bizarre choice.
Yeah, guys. Like, what? That would not have been my drug of choice for the zombie apocalypse. Also, to be clear, this was at like noon. So
I also thought it was a little early, but
No, we showed up. We had drinks after, but we all had like coffee beforehand. Like, because we got there at like 11:30 in the morning. It was not drink 30 yet, but I don't know. In Amsterdam, it's like weirdly always drink 30. I don't know.
I would say like the zombie apocalypse would probably like be one of my, maybe visiting a loved one in the hospital would even be better on MDMA than the zombie. Like I'm trying to think of like a worse place.
Yeah, I would not, I don't, no, I don't know what that would have done for me. I don't see how it would have added to the experience, honestly.
No, But I wanted to bring it up because it was so weird.
I didn't know that. I'm glad you told me. That's hilarious. It makes a lot of things make more sense. That was a weird group.
That was it. Yeah. They were interesting characters, I would say.
Yeah. They probably thought we were weird. Because they were actually very normal. They were just a bunch of like Dutch dudes. And they were probably like, who are these weirdos? Because it was just us and then like two of our expat friends.
Yeah.
So anyways, do we have anything else?
I think that wraps up our bucket lists.
Yes.
We've done other cool stuff too. We've got some travel stuff coming up.
Yeah, we just didn't want to make this like a monster episode. So we'll do that. I think we are going to do travel tips with the Sky Pirate at some point coming up. We're going to get you guys caught up, I promise. I know that like every year at this time we kind of fall off, but we're not.
I don't know. This is only 2 years in a row. Don't every year make that a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah, well, maybe next year we'll push through.
Yeah, just every week we'll be podcasting.
Yeah, we're working on it.
All right, till later.
Bye. This has been another episode of the Workationing Podcast. If you like what you've heard here, please consider donating at patreon.com/workationing. That's patreon.com. All proceeds will go towards funding our bucket list items.
To keep up with us in real time, follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, all at Workationing. Or on our website at, you guessed it, workationing.com. That's workationing.com. And don't forget to subscribe to the podcast so you never miss an episode. I don't mean to experience shame anyone, but I have been racking my brain and I cannot find a more bizarre place to do MDMA.
Girl, no. Like, where would it be worse?
No, I was like, church? No, I think that
I might have an experience.
I mean, maybe not Mormon church that lasts for 4 hours is like a long time.
Well, just take a little extra.
Like, and then I was like, well, maybe getting arrested would be like a really shitty way to experience that. But then you still get the blinkies and woo-woos.
Yeah, like, just sing with the cop in the car. It's no big deal.